Welcome to Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, your guide to mastering the realm of real estate in Central East Florida. I am Sir Lancelot Leonard, ready to uncover the secrets of seller strategies, home staging, mortgage mastery, and more. From Daytona Beach to Cocoa Beach, Lake County to St. Augustine, join me as we navigate the intricacies of real estate. As the leader of the Sir Lancelot Group at Florida Homes Realty and Mortgage, I'm here to arm you with knowledge and innovation, whether you're a seasoned homeowner or a first-time buyer, unveiling the kingdom of real estate, one roundtable at a time. We're thrilled to have Chris Anderson, a true visionary in the modular construction industry. As part of the leadership at Vantem, Chris has been at the forefront of revolutionizing how we build homes with sustainability and resilience in mind. From addressing the housing crisis through scalable factory-built solutions to pioneering zero-energy-ready homes in hurricane-prone areas, Chris and his team are shaping the future of affordable, climate-resilient communities. Stay tuned for an inspiring discussion about how Vantem and its subsidiary, Affinity, are making waves in the real estate market. Welcome, Chris, to the pod. How's it going, my friend?
Excellent. Great to be here. Thank you.
So, Chris, the housing market is in a challenging place right now with increasing demands and limited supplies. How do you see modular construction helping to scale housing production efficiently?
Yeah, the dynamics in the market that you're talking about are actually perfect for it because one of the biggest things that's happening, as we all know, is construction costs are going up, right? And today, the biggest driver of those costs going up is labor costs. So some interesting facts, right? In our industry in construction, the construction industry has the most rapidly aging population of workers of any major industry, in the United States, right? Not enough young people coming in, not enough trades. I mean, supply demand, right? Costs go up. And that's really what's been driving up the costs tremendously. So an interesting thing happens in a factory, right? So by factory building the homes, you're able to do a lot more with those same labor hours. I mean, it's the reason we don't build cars in our garages, right? Henry Ford decided, hey, we're going to build this on assembly lines. That's exactly what we do with homes, and that's why we're able to produce them less with a lower cost and actually with higher quality.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, look, Kirsten wants to join us too. Should we let her in?
Sure.
Let's see. There we go. I was like, hey, I never had three on a pod, but let's do it.
I'm just here to listen.
Hi there. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great. So we're going to continue then. So modular construction is often linked with lower cost capital, especially through green financing. Could you explain how Vantem projects to attract this type of financing and how it benefits builders and developers?
Yeah, sure. So I think that one of the things that is unique about what we're doing, not only are we building a modular product, but we're building a very green product, very energy efficient. So that's really our hallmark. And when you're doing an energy efficient product, you're not only saving costs on the operating costs, right? There's a lot of capital that's out there in the market, both debt and equity, that wants to invest in green products. There just aren't a lot. So what you're able to do is link this opportunity of the green build with capital that wants to invest into it, and it ends up really improving the capital stack, as you would say, right? The equity and the debt components of most project financing. And that's really one of the main ways that we leverage the green build that we're doing today.
I really admire because it is, as you and I discussed a little bit earlier, and thoughts about affordability. I mean, come on. It's getting higher and higher to build anything. Like in my area, a builder is putting out a house. It's not about the building, but sales price, let's say $400,000 or $450,000. The average person that works a 9 to 5 as a teacher or a policeman are getting strained and being able to afford houses like that. So what you guys are doing is phenomenal. I really like it. Thank you for that, by the way. And I will love to, see if we could grow it in my area too, maybe. um,
We'd love to. I mean, we're very focused in the Southeast, doing quite a bit in Florida and looking to do this nationally as we continue the rollout. But yeah, I mean, to your point, affordable housing, I mean, it's something that's needed everywhere. I mean, this is really a basic problem, right? And so to continue to try to address the problem with the same old ways, it's not going to improve, right? I mean, new things need to be done. And so I think the modular construction and a real green focus is in our view a real, one of the many ways that it can happen, but it actually works. It works in bringing those costs down and getting a better product into the marketplace.
that is awesome, man. I'm super proud of you. I think it's great. Your subsidiary Affinity is doing some remarkable work in Florida, producing factory-built homes that are both climate resilient and energy efficient. Can you elaborate and talk about a little bit how these homes are specifically designed to withstand the climate challenges we're facing in the Southeast, like hurricanes, tornadoes? Now, I mean, you see 24 tornadoes hit during the last hurricane. That's incredible. It's a lot. We're not really used to that kind of amount, and I think it's just getting worse and worse. So, tell me a little bit about these homes and how they can survive these storms.
Yeah, I mean, we build single family homes all the way through multifamily, right? And the plant that you're talking about, our subsidiary Affinity in southern Georgia, is the plant where we do single family homes, very focused on high quality, resilient product that is going mostly into coastal areas of Florida. So high wind zone, high hurricane rated homes. And the way that we do that is, again, it's a modular build. We're able to control the engineering and the quality in the factory. And these are homes that are engineered to the highest Category 5 hurricane wind zones at a cost that, again, you cannot possibly build on site and hit that kind of resiliency factor for the type of cost that we're able to do there.
That's amazing. And how about water intrusion or anything like that? Would you guys are going to go focus on that as well?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, today, really, when you're building in the coastal areas, most of the product we're doing is being put on piles, like 12, 14-foot high piles for that reason, right? So that's really the best way to mitigate against tide and high water.
Okay, that's interesting. So they're like, how do you say it? Houses on sort of called chicken legs.
Yeah, they're on stilts.
Stilts, yeah,
exactly. They're up pretty high.
So the place where I not so far from where I grew up in Hungary, on the side of the Tisa River, we have these houses that are built on stilts because the Tisa River gets like super high and super low. It constantly does that, and they have like 4 or 5 meter tall stilts that have houses on top of them. In feet, I don't know, like 20 foot, something like that. It's interesting, and I stayed in one of those once, and I think that your concept is definitely going to work with the water flow and everything. It's great. And you get to get a view too in Florida where everything is flat.
Exactly.
So the concept of like zero energy ready homes are exciting. Could you break down what this means in terms of energy savings and sustainability for homeowners?
Yeah, so zero energy ready, it's actually the highest standard that the Department of Energy here in the U.S. has that you can certify a home to for energy efficiency. And so what it really means is that the home is built in a way that with just a limited amount of solar power, it does not need any net energy off the grid, right? So it's something that's self-sufficient. And when you put those solar panels on it, it's basically zero energy, zero carbon emissions for the operation of the home. Now, among the benefits, yes, you have a lower energy bill. It can be zero. But the other thing is you can get a $5,000 tax credit from the Department of Energy when you have a zero energy certified home like the ones that we do. So that's another way that it helps kind of mitigate the costs of home ownership for such an affordable and energy efficient product.
So think about this. Number one, it's cheaper to build. Two, you're getting tax credits for it. Number three, you're not going to spend as much money on your utilities. So, I mean, it's striking every point that people are looking for nowadays in a home, I think, as in sustainability and money in pocket after all the inflation we've been through in the past few years. This is big,
Right, right, and resilient, because to your
yeah,
earlier point, I mean, one of the, these are all some of the big problems, right? Affordability, energy efficiency, or climate change, and along with climate change is this issue of bigger and badder storms. So, I think it's important that those things be addressed when you're trying to put out new product into the marketplace. So not only solving the problem of roof over somebody's head, but also something that's not going to create other problems down the road for society.
correct. That's awesome. So, given the recent devastations from the hurricanes, how important it is for developers to prioritize climate resilient homes. How is Affinity stepping up to help rebuild these vulnerable communities in southeast?
Yeah, probably 60% or so of what we're building today at Affinity is hurricane reconstruction housing. So it's, a big part of what we're doing today is actually in Fort Myers from prior hurricane, and down into the Florida Keys. So a lot of what we're doing is hurricane reconstruction. And again, I mean, it's hugely important because, I mean, why are you going to rebuild something that's going to get blown away again, right?
Exactly.
So if you're going to rebuild right, put it up on the chicken legs, the stilts, get it up there high so that it's not going to get flooded, but also that it really withstands the type of hurricane winds that are going to be more prevalent on and on today, right? So in these last hurricanes, we were really, I mean, I think it's a proof that we didn't have any of our homes, and we've built hundreds and hundreds of homes that are along the corridor where the last two hurricanes hit this year, and none of them had significant damage, right? And that's the way it should be.
That is awesome. That's great. So, in terms of real estate industry, it's kind of like a lot of rhinos. I know there are a lot of we like that 3-bed 2-bath home with this kind of roof and everything like that. So, how do you think modular homes and the construction of it is shaping the housing market right now? And where do you see the biggest opportunities for growth in this industry?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, modular housing is still less than 5% of the total of everything that's built in the United States. So, I mean, again, if you go back to the example of cars, we're right there, right around 1900 when cars all of them were being hand built, right? I mean, that's what was happening at that point. That's kind of where we are today in house building. And I think that you're going to start to see the same type of transformation in construction that you saw in auto building, right? For the reasons we talked about earlier in our discussion. So I think you're going to start to see a much more rapid rise of market share for the factory built products, simply because it is in fact less expensive at a time when cost is incredibly important to the marketplace.
And to be clear, we're not really talking about like manufactured homes as mobile homes or anything like that. This is solid built.
Yeah, that's exactly good.
I want to clarify that for people, that listening.
Yeah, so you do have, I mean, so from when one talks about factory built homes, you do have trailer homes, like you say, which is built to a different standard, that's built to a HUD standard. Our homes are, quote, real homes. They're built to the ICC IBC standard, if you want to get real wonky, which is the same standard that high quality site built home gets built to. And when you see one of our homes, and anyone that goes on our website, you see plenty of pictures. You cannot tell the difference when it's finished. You only know that it's a modular home as it's being finished, as it's being built, because it's coming in these big, nice, beautiful, almost complete blocks, right? That are being stacked and put together. But once it's done, the home inside and out does not look any different than a traditional home.
And the insides, is that completed at the factory as well? So all you have to do is hook up plumbing and electrical, and boom, you got your house done.
Exactly. Yeah. So when it leaves the factory, it's got all the internal electrical, all the internal plumbing done, even, right? It has the flooring, the kitchen, the counters, the bathrooms, the lighting, it's all in there.
Wow.
The only thing that you do on site is the foundation. You have to have the foundation ready for when it arrives. And then what we call the stitch up, right? Because a home is typically built of 2, 3, or 4 modules coming together. And where they come together, there's a little bit of, you have to put some of the siding on and things like that to make it all look like a finished product. But 80% of the entire job is done in the factory. It's only about 20% that's done on site.
That is awesome. You save a lot of time with that. So to tell me from start to finish on any of these homes? How long does it take with permitting? Let's say the order's in, I want a 3-bed, 2-bath home in wherever, Florida.
Mhm.
How long does it take after I give you my initial deposit for the home to be able to close on it and get occupancy ready?
Typically, that's about 3, maximum 4 months, and I'll walk you through it. So when you give us an order, we'll take about a month before we put it on our factory line. And once it's on the line, it only takes 2 weeks to get all the way through, and it's done. So that's week 6, week 7, it ships out on the trucks to the job site, and then that last 3, 4, 5 weeks is is that final stitching on site and getting the certificate of occupancy. Yeah.
That is crazy fast.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
I thought,
And it really gets significant when you're doing larger scale stuff. So we do single family, right? One at a time. But also we do larger developments where it's either multifamily or single family where you're doing 100, 200 units. Well, these are projects that might take 2, 3 years usually when it's site built.
yeah.
By factory building, you'll get a 2-year project done in 6 months total, right? Or 7. It's just
Wow.
amazing, and it really affects costs, right? Because that's the other thing. Again, when you're looking at larger scale, the overhead, costs of a job for 2 years, right, versus 6 months is a big difference, and that rolls into the cost savings as well, right, for the final product.
Definitely. And just side question, townhouses?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely. Everything from single family and then multifamily townhouse row house configurations, all of it is done.
So like a small builder, let's say, that can't afford to build like big communities, like the largest builders and whatnot. And they're like, hey, I want to build 6 townhouses or something like that. A project like that, 2-story townhouse, also 3-bed, 2-bath, with maybe a single car garage. What do you think? Same timeline, 4 months, basically,
Yeah,
or
it's
would
not
that
very
be
much more. Maybe call it 4 months and 2 weeks, 4.5 months or something like that. But for doing that kind of multiple, but yeah, our Affinity plant, that's exactly the type of customer that we've got. It's our partners, which really we consider our builder customers our partners, are for the most part ones that are doing 1, 2, 3 homes at a time, and that's kind of the time scale that they look at. Yeah.
this is amazing. I mean, I have plenty of investors. Even, as we talked about, I'm working on my general contractor license right
Hmm.
now. So even myself would be interested in something like that because it just saves so much time that you could get it on the market so much faster for people and
Yeah,
at a way better price.
well, that's the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, again, getting into kind of wonky terminology, but the reality is you have a lower cost, lower time, therefore your return on investment, the ROI for the investor, the builder, is much, much higher, right? Because time is a big important part of that formula of return on investment, right? So yeah, I mean, listen, we at Affinity, we host a builder tour and we call it builder training, but builder tour at the factory every quarter, and love to have you. Love to have anybody that'd like to come, and you can see how it's built in the factory. You can see what the final product looks like. You can really take a look at numbers, and I think you'd be absolutely impressed with what you'd be able to do in your business. Yeah.
Definitely interested in that. I'm going to take you up on that invite.
Awesome.
For sure. Do you actually need a contractor on site, or you guys provide that for these developments, or how does that work?
So we've got a network of partner builders, contractors that we can refer anybody to if they don't have their own.
Okay,
And if they do have their own, not a problem. We will work with them as well.
train them, etc. It seems fairly
Yeah, that's
simple,
what that quarterly builder training, that's what it's about. And it's great. We love it when somebody comes with a contractor they already have that maybe doesn't know us, doesn't know Modular. We train them, and man, almost all of them become repeat customers, right? At that point, they start to kind of convert their customers to, future customers to Vantem and the Affinity product.
So, Chris, what's next for Vantem and Affinity? Are there any upcoming projects or innovations on the horizon that you are particularly excited about?
Yeah, we are. I mean, we're going
If
to
you could
be
share,
we're going to be
you know.
bringing online another factory here soon. Very much focused on the multifamily side. We're doing a lot of work in creative type of multifamily. So senior living, for example, is a big thing that we're starting to do. Affordable senior living. It's not just families, you know, young families that need an affordable place to live, but also our seniors do too. So
Definitely.
we're very focused on that. And I think we've got, you know, we have some really cool things that we're doing and we're really excited about there. So, you know, for the next couple of years, we'll be focused on that here in the southeastern United States. And then moving forward, we'll be going into new areas, more than likely moving a little more west into some of the other parts of the Sun Belt and keep on expanding, hopefully, to all of the United States.
I really hope we can work together on some of these projects. It sounds, I'm super excited. I don't know if you can hear it on my voice. I am really excited about this.
Awesome.
Last question, man, for listeners who are developers or investors.
Mm-hmm.
Why should they consider modular homes, especially those ones that prioritize on sustainability, as a long-term solution? Tell me.
Well, I mean, it's just
Besides what we talked about, anything
everything
else?
we talked about, and you know, so and then I think, you know, when you use the word long term, I mean, you know, these homes are built to withstand much more than what a traditional site-built home is built to last, right? So from a long-term hold perspective, these are homes and buildings that will perform over the long term much better, right? And so you know, some of the things that we are working on also for the future, talking long term, is that is lower insurance rates. Because of the better build, there should be a lower insurance rate, and we're working with some insurance companies on that. So these are some of the other things that long term make a lot of sense, I think, for builders and investors as they look to modular for some of the big advantages.
And I mean, if we're talking about lower cost of construction, lower taxes, especially in the state of Florida, because they assess the value, and according to that, they give you your tax
Mm-hmm.
bill. So if the thing costs 250 instead of 450, you're saving if I'm talking single family homes,
Right.
you're saving a lot of money on taxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We're
and as you
talking
pointed out before,
multifamily.
you're also saving a ton on the operating costs, right? Less
Yeah.
electrical costs and electricity costs, less power bills. So yeah, I mean, I think that like I said earlier, you will see modular, hopefully green modular, continue to grow very rapidly because the fundamentals are there for it.
Yeah, I love everything you said. I mean, I wasn't a big believer in solar panels, I'll be honest with you. Our area where I live around Daytona Beach, Port Orange, um, Lennar just started bringing in solar communities, but they're ripping people off. Like I'm serious, man. I had a client, solar, elderly veteran, had no clue about solar. Oh, you're gonna save $300 a month on your electricity bill.
No.
They installed the solar panels for $50,000 for him, and he saved quote unquote $300 a day on electricity. And then when it came to sell the property, he had to pay off the $50,000 because the next person was like,
Right.
I don't want a panel, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. So he actually, not the whole thing, but he had to pay off half of it. And a lot of people that are selling solar now are giving a bad rep for it because they're overcharging for the panels and the installation and all that stuff. So this, when the house comes with it, I think it just gonna make a lot more sense. Like, here's the house is ready. Here's the solar on it. It's awesome, you know?
Right, and when you built the house to need less electricity, it's an important point. You need less solar panels. Therefore, there's less investment needed, additional investment in the panels themselves, right? So it does, in fact, then pencil very well. The cost savings actually are there at the end of the day when you build the house from the beginning,
Yeah.
thinking this way.
I know I said last question, but I came up with something else for you. Battery packs. Do these homes come with battery packs? Or for the nighttime?
Well, no, they don't. Well, so that's a great question. So Florida lets you do what they call zero metering. So during the day when your solar panels are on, you can pump the electricity into the grid and your meter runs backwards, right?
Oh.
And then at night, when you use power and you don't have any, solar energy being generated, the meter runs forward. So that's why the net thing, it nets out to zero is the goal, right? When you have to use battery packs, man, those are expensive still. That makes it a little bit more difficult to have it really pencil as truly. I think as battery packs come down in cost, that'll change. But today it's not a great solution. It's better to net zero meter from the grid.
Yeah, I was just thinking because me and my family were talking about converting it to a greenhouse, how to run that, and what could we do. And if we're doing that, you got to commit like almost fully. Get the electric car. If you have the electric car, the battery helps with that. At nighttime when it's plugged in, et cetera, et cetera. And those are the things. Maybe get thermal heating for the water heater, or get a solar heating for the water heater, and then go actually zero. At this point right now, I mean, my electricity bill is $145 a month, so it's not that like, it's not there yet. If I would be at $300, I would be thinking about it. Definitely to get solar. But that was just a side note for you. Anything else you'd like to share? Anywhere where can people find you? I know we're gonna put all your details into the description of the video, but tell us a little bit more about how people can find it, how people can find out more about you and more about the factory, and maybe these visits, etc.
Absolutely. So you can go to the parent company, vantem.com, V as in Victor, ANTEM.com, and then also to Affinity Modular. So, just Google that. That's directly to the factory. If you're our factory in Georgia, which if you're interested in single family homes, particularly kind of for the Florida area and, that are for high wind zones and so forth, that would be a good place to see. And you'll see just tons of really cool floor plans and ideas. And we'd love to work with anybody. So you'll find right in there links of how to get in touch with our sales department.
Chris, thank you again for coming. Pleasure talking to you. Hope to have you on further down the road when this is growing bigger and better, and we can talk more and you can share more like, hey, we're doing 1,000-unit multifamilies, or, whatever comes down the road. Thank you again.
Thank you, Lancelot. A real pleasure. Love the chat.
Thank you for joining us on Sir Lancelot's Real Estate Roundtable, where we've unveiled the mysteries of real estate together. Remember, in this kingdom of possibilities, every dream home is just a discussion away. I can help your real estate dreams come true. Just call me at 786-449-7518. Until our next roundtable, may your ventures be prosperous and your homes be filled with love and joy. Farewell, fellow knights of real estate.